Hey guys, so it's dark out. Perfect opportunity to talk about night vision and thermal. I think everybody in the prepping community should own some level of night vision or thermal, or possibly both. Which I have a little bit of both. Nothing really expensive, but we have a pretty good mix. A lot of entry level stuff, and that's what I kind of want to hit on. You know, we've come to a point in technology now where everybody can afford to at least get into this a little bit. And having the edge out in the dark when, say, power's out, grid's down, and being able to get out there and actually see when everything's black could be a huge advantage for protecting your homestead, your home, or your family. So we're going to go through some of these pros and cons, some cheaper night vision, some cheaper thermal, from low resolution thermal to mid-resolution thermal. We have a mid-resolution thermal scope up on this 300 blackout. We have some decent resolution night vision. We got a 4K scope, and we have 1080 binoculars. So we'll just kind of go through this one by one, and we can kind of lay it out for you. We'll get some video through each one for you, and you can decide if it's what you need. So let's start out with the NightFox Swift 2 Pro. And this is just a cheap headset. I think this was just over $200. But this has actually been a pretty cool piece. I've enjoyed owning this. So it's a single lens. Basically it's a monocular that goes into two. So it goes into a screen so you can see with both eyes. But this has day mode, it has night mode, and it has several phases of night mode with different levels of IR. So IR, if you don't know, it's different levels of low red light that you can't hardly see with your naked eye, but it's amplified by the lens. And so different nanometers of IR are amplified, so you can have low IR so you're not detected as well from outside night vision, and this will actually pick it up and amplify it. Sometimes you need more IR for seeing a darker or deeper, darker distances, and so you can ramp up the IR. It goes lunar mode, which is no IR, which is actually kind of cool. I went out and used it in lunar mode, and if you got a good moon, you can see really, really well outside with it without any IR, so it actually does pretty good. And then it has recording capabilities. So I thought that was pretty cool too. So we can get some video recorded through this, and we'll upload it with this video. It also came with the headset. So you can run this thing. It's got like kind of like a J-arm on it. And you can run it on this headset. And it comes with a few different attachments, which I thought was kind of cool. So you can run that and run it on your head hands-free. It'll fold down. And I've actually surprisingly been able to navigate with this. It does have a lens focus, so you can focus it in for close or further distances. And if I put this on and I practice a little bit, I can get the depth perception down well enough that I can navigate through the house no problem. And same thing with outside. I've practiced with this outside where I can navigate, and I can see pretty clear for 100 to 150 yards. So this actually works really well. For being right around the $200 price point, I would say this is a great option to get into night vision. So that's the NightFox Swift 2 Pro, and it does have an 18650 lift battery in it that's rechargeable. It has a port on it, so you can plug it into USB and charge it, as well as if you remove the screw, you can pull the battery and charge it in a standard charger. So if you got more 18650 batteries, you can swap them back and forth, and so that's actually a really cool deal there. So you can put several in your pocket and swap them out if you need to during the night. So I really like this as an option. It's a great entry level. It's a great way in because it's not overly expensive, and it is 1080p res, so it's fairly decent resolution. It's pretty clear coming through the screen. So that's the NightFox Swift 2 Pro.
We are in non-night vision mode. Okay, so there is lunar sight, and you can actually notice a big difference. So we can already see there's a little bit of tiny bit of ambient light coming through. It actually looks really bright. So cut it back off. There's a little bit of light coming through that doorway. You can see it pulling it in lunar mode. There's my sun. So if we go up to IR1, you can tell how much light it's adding. And it's pretty dark in here. So you can see that. If we go up to IR2, it's even more. That's 940 nanometers. IR3. There's IR4, and then if you come up to IR5, That's 850 nanometers maximum. That's a lot of light. It's like a giant spotlight. If you go outside, that really shoots a long way. But you can see in the dark, this actually sees pretty well. So, pretty decent video too. Not bad. So here's back in lunar mode. You can see in the dark. In lunar mode with no ambient light coming in, it's pretty dark. IR off, IR on, and then the first level, 940, you can see pretty well. It just gets brighter and brighter.
Alright, so next up are the ATN 1080p night vision binoculars. These are a little older. These are like Gen 1. They take 3 CR123 batteries. But I really like these. So they have pretty decent day and night mode. They got probably an effective range of about 400 yards, maybe 5. They're, I believe, a digital 16x zoom. And they're pretty clear, especially in day mode. Night mode's pretty good too, but in day mode they're really clear. So we're gonna go out, we'll get some video through the binoculars, and then we'll upload it with this so you can see looking through the ATNs. So like I said, I really like the ATN binoculars, but if I had to pick between these and the headset, the NightFox Pro, I would go with the NightFox Pro just because you can. They do have some digital zoom and you can run them hands-free. I mean, these are binoculars, so you're going to be running these with a strap or with the shoulder harness set, and you're going to be picking up, bringing them down. I mean, they definitely have their place, and they'd be worth having. And these aren't that expensive anymore. These are a few $100s. I believe you can get the 4K for under $500 now. So we'll go check these out, and we'll get that uploaded. So next up, we have a thermal handheld. We have the RIX Pocket K2, and I really like this little handheld. It does a pretty good job for a price point. This is under $400 typically, probably coming up here around the holidays, it'll probably get even cheaper. It is 256 resolution, so it is limited. You get out around the 100-yard range and it falls out. It gets a little hazy, especially on smaller objects. But you can identify deer or human-sized things out at that range, out to 100 yards pretty well. So if you're just out scanning or doing surveillance, this thing works really awesome. It does have, I believe, 1080p recording resolution. It takes an 18650 battery, which I really like when they take the 18650s because they're easy to come by. I've got chargers for them. I run a lot of those in my flashlight, so it's a good battery option. So I'm glad they went with the 18650. I kind of wish more of them would, but it works pretty well for this. It does have a side focus. It has several different color palettes. So we'll get outside and we'll do some recording with it and do some focusing, and then we'll let you see what it looks like. Maybe I'll get the dog outside so you can see what that looks like through it. Alright, let's get outside and do some shooting. Alright, so you can see this is through the RIX 256, the Pocket K2. This thing is pretty clear for what it is. There's that same tree line we've been scanning, which you could tell it'd be hard to pick up some heat clear back there, but... Oh, there's something over there, either a rat or a rabbit, something back there. Here, we'll show you. We'll show you the dog. So you can see the dog pretty good. It has a pretty good focus, which really brings it into clarity. And then, see, we can change color palettes as well. So you can tell the different color palettes make a big difference. So that's Black Hot. Black Hot's actually pretty clear for landscape detail. I mean, that's like looking out in daylight. And it's pretty dark out here, so there's the dog again in Black Hot. There's Red Hot. There's color palette. So you can see that. And back to White Hot. So I actually really like that Black Hot for detail though on the horizon. I mean, you can really pick up on some detail. Alright, so that's the Pocket K2. I do really like this little thing. For a handheld, it works pretty good. So next up is the Sitemark Wraith 4K. And I really like this scope. This is probably one of my favorite entry-level night vision scopes on the market. I would say it's slightly better than entry-level. This is pretty clear. I know a lot of guys that are into predator hunting at night, things like that, they really go with this. This scope gets used a lot. So one of the limiting factors with this scope is the original IR flashlight that comes with it. It's very limiting because it's like got a 100-yard range at best, and this thing's capable of a lot better. So we put this Sniper Hog IR light on it, and now it's got about an 800-yard effective range. It does have a built-in rechargeable battery. It is 4K, so it's really clear, and it has an 8x digital zoom, I believe on a 2 power, so I think it goes up to like 16 or 32x. I can't remember for sure, but it's got pretty decent zoom as well. It's got day and night mode and recording capabilities. So like I said, this thing is really clear and I really like it. For a night vision scope, if you were looking at security and patrol, this would be a great option. So let's get out and shoot some video through it, and then you can see for yourself what it looks like.
Okay, so you can see back there. Our IR light is somewhat limited by where it's mounted, but you can see how clear that is. And that is in 4K. And our light does have some adjustment. So you can see with a little bit of light, and then there's a lot of light. I can really get out there pretty good, so having that adjuster helps it quite a bit. So you can see how clear that is. Let's go over here. I mean, it's like a powerful spotlight running off everything. I mean, you can tell too, this is pretty dark out here. If I dim it down to no IR light, you can't see anything. So that looks pretty good. I mean, that's really clear. So here, let's run the zoom a little bit. That's where the 4K really shines too. So when you start zooming up 4K, it's pretty clear. compared to the 1080 on like the binoculars. So that's an 8-power digital zoom, and I believe it has a natural 2 or 4x zoom, so you can see how clear that is though. That's pretty good. So I really like this scope. It is clear, it has a long range. I mean, we're out there 150 yards scanning that brush line. You can see really good back there.
This is my favorite optic that I have. It's really not high end, not even close. It's kind of an entry level thermal, but it is mid resolution, which makes a big difference when it comes to thermals. So this, compared to that RIX I showed you, this is the 384 resolution, and it is very clear. You can tell a big difference when you're looking at deer or human-sized objects at 100 yards and beyond in this. At 100 yards, they are very clear and very crisp. The resolution inside of 100 yards is extremely clear. So I really like this optic. This is a Feyachi, 384 by 25. And I believe I got this on sale for around $1,000. So for thermal optics, that is fairly reasonable. So they are coming down, but it's hard to find mid-resolution in that price point. So I did see the Sitemark Wraith 4K Mini is actually coming down to that price. So it's right around $1,000 now, which I was looking at that optic as well, and I really like that optic. I like Sightmark, but the downside with that optic is that it does not take rechargeable batteries. So you're using CR123s, I believe, and from what I understand, it eats them up fairly quickly. So the thing that sold me on this one was it had really good positive feedback, positive reviews. And then the other is Fiachi did something really cool. So they did something that some of the higher end thermal companies are starting to do. And you can see it with like the AGM Rattlers, the Gen 2 and Gen 3s, but chargeable battery pack. Which this has a runtime of 10 to 11 hours, which I thought was really awesome. When you start looking at replacing CR123 batteries, or some of the other options out there, I mean, you're gonna start eating them up at 3 to 4 hours runtime, especially if you're running them hard, and you gotta carry a pocket full of them, you're switching them. This thing, you just plug it in. It has a standard cell phone charger, and so you plug it in, charge it up, and you're good for like 10 hours, and you can buy more of these packs. So I could throw one more of these in my pocket if I needed to, but the reality is I'm not gonna run this longer than 10 hours at a time. So I really like this optic. This is my favorite that I have as far as thermal or night vision goes, and I do recommend these. This is a good optic. I mean, I've had this for a while now. We've ran a bunch of rounds, so I bought this specifically for this 300 blackout suppressed. And all these firearms, they have been cleared, no rounds in them, no magazines, so just a little safety check there, but everything's been cleared before the video started. This is a suppressed 300 blackout. I'm running a Diligent Defense, and I really like it. But that was what I purchased this optic for, was for specifically for this. So we've put a bunch of subsonic ammo through this, and it's been flawless. This thing runs really well. So we'll do the same. We'll get out and we'll shoot some video. We'll try to get some video through this. So that's the downside with this Fiachi optic, is it does not record. So I guess you don't have all the bells and whistles for that price point, but for what the optic is supposed to do, it does it well. So I really like it. We will try to shoot through the lens with our camera to see if we can get some video, because I really want to get some video through and show you this. This thing is amazing for the price. I absolutely love it. So let's get out there, we'll shoot some video, and we'll show you.
So there's your zoom. There's some of your different color palettes. Hopefully this is doing it justice. We're going to try to zoom this up when we edit it so you can see it really good, but this thing is super clear. I hope everybody can see that really well. This camera probably is not doing it justice, but I mean, you can see through that really well. Okay, So here's looking through the Fiachi. Hopefully this is doing it justice because we're having to put the camera through here. But you can see how clear that is. This is a 384 res and it is very clear. I mean, I absolutely love the clarity on this thing. So looking through that scope, go run up there, Will, so they can see what it looks like with some heat running up there. So you can see what it looks like with some heat out there. My son's out there about 20 yards, 30 yards, so you can see how detailed, how crisp that is. That's pretty clear. You can scan that tree line back there. You can get out there 50, 100 yards and it is pretty crisp. So we'll try to get some of the different color palettes in here too. It has a lot of color palettes. Nope, that's not what I was looking for.
So I hope this video was helpful. If you're deciding to get into night vision, you're kind of looking at night vision thermal, and the entry level you want to try it out, maybe this will kind of help give you a leg up, kind of decide which way you want to go. I'm going to put some links down below. So there'll be links in the description, so if you want to click on any of these, it does help the channel. So we get a small percentage, so if you like any of these, you can click on the link and purchase them through Amazon. That'd be great. But I hope this helped y'all out, and keep on watching, keep prepping. Thanks for watching. If this is the kind of thinking that speaks to you, hit subscribe. I'll be covering gear, prepping systems, homestead tactics, and off-grid survival. Don't get caught off guard. Let's get ready together.